budget. If we have a shortfall coming up, multi-hundreds of millions of dollars, Republican leader in the legislature said that certainly people will be looking at using the appropriation bonds, the tobacco bonds, to solve the deficit. And we are gathering today to tell you that that Democrats in the State House are absolutely not okay with that solution, that we reject any idea of using appropriation bonds to solve any more state budget deficits. And we call on Republicans to finally take the responsibility to resolve the budget deficit honestly and accountably. Republicans have been borrowing money from the people of Minnesota, from their kids and grandkids, in order to cover up their own political problems. And what all they're doing is creating real problems for people in future years. We know that the tobacco bonds are going to double the cost of the operating dollars we're using to keep the state operating. And this has never been done before in state history. It should never be done again. And we absolutely and completely oppose the use of this deficit scheme in order to balance the budget in this current budget and in any future budget.
This is one of the most expensive ways that you can finance the day-by-day operations of state government. The total principal is going to be about $757 million. The total interest, $459 million. So the total cost will be about $1.2 billion.
An alternative we would propose is revenue raised fairly, and revenue raised from people who can most afford to pay it. This isn't a new story. The only thing that's new is that because Republicans couldn't get around this issue of revenue in any other way, they created this problem of actually creating revenue bonds. It's hard for any Republican to claim fiscal responsibility when they're borrowing money and paying twice as much. They're spending twice as much to get the same level of service as they would if they were raising revenue. The answer to this has to be revenue, in one form or another. And in fact, I think it's interesting, even in Congress, Republicans were starting to acknowledge that revenue has to be part of the solution to the deficit. It's true in Washington, it's true in here. It has to be part of the solution. And if they're not willing to engage on that topic, we're going to end up in the same situation over and over again, where we are creating problems for ourselves. We are borrowing money, spending twice as much to get the same amount of service. It just doesn't make any sense.